Should we play the Sarah Palin clip?
Okay.
Let's just play the Sarah Palin clip and then we'll go into the fun half. Oh, this is pretty fun.
She wants to hold AOC accountable.
Yeah. Let me just remind you, it was St. John McCain who introduced this country essentially to Sarah Palin, elevated her. If you had any notion as to whether she would have become a Republican star on her own without being elevated by John McCain, all you need to do is look at her life since the time that she was the vice president nominee. I mean, she couldn't remain in office as a rising star, as someone who had been plucked out of obscurity to become one of the closest people you could like just theoretically be to the presidency, right? The vice president of a guy who, well, I mean, he would have made it through his first 2 terms, assuming that the stress wouldn't have gotten to him. Maybe, but then does she win in 2016?
Talking about muscle memory, he created the muscle memory for Trump by picking Sarah Palin.
Without a doubt.
She was the, beta Trump, right?
Exactly. And, but here she is, still with us today, even years after her, one of her reality shows or multiple reality shows got canceled. Here she is on Fox News, Sarah Palin.
It amazes me, though, her and other liberals, socialists even, their ability to deflect from what the issues truly are. And here, her obsession with at least suggestions of always gender and sex even. It, I truly believe that there are enough Americans who get it and understand what her tactic is, and that is to deflect from what the real issues are. But take this issue, though, with her suggestion of dating and attraction to someone and blaming her failures on that obsession with sex. Look how the liberals, Rachel, want to pound that into the public's head, that advertising who is attracted to who, what people do in the privacy of their own bedrooms, all those things that have to do with privacy and sex. The liberals, not the conservatives, are the one who pound after that. And obviously, it's a tactic so that she doesn't have to be held accountable. It sounds like she hasn't been held accountable for much, maybe in her entire life, so she does not have that foundation of accountability and, that public service heart that is so necessary in order to serve well and be accountable.
Yeah, I think you're right. It isn't.
Stuck the landing there.
Oh my God. Honestly.
Sarah Palin's like, she needs to be taught a lesson. She's been bad.
Honestly, I'd
like to teach her a lesson and pound.
Pound those lessons into her.
That's the thing with the liberals, is that they just completely avoid the issues. Instead of talk about all this like pounding and sex stuff, and she never had any. She doesn't understand what it takes to do public service. Incidentally, I quit a year or 2 into my being governor because I realized like I wasn't going to be vice president and I didn't want to do all the work, and so I just thought like I should be a reality TV star.
Her hypocrisy.
I mean, honestly, if you were to write that segment and be like, do you think there's a chance that we could get Sarah Palin to play herself in this and just do a bit where like she just, no, there's no way you'll get, oh my God, she said yes.
Any actor would look at that script of words that Sarah Palin said there and be like, I can't perform that. What do you mean?
It's too on the nose.
Weird mental breakdown.
Oh, no. I think there's a couple of comedians who could pull that off. I definitely think that but the problem is that it is, you need someone to pretend to be Sarah Palin to make that funny. Let's play that again.
I saw Tina Fey was trending this morning.
This is too good. I mean, understand, just listen. Just remember where she ended up, where she landed. Yeah. And so at the beginning, you understand where she's going at this point. This is like, the
moments of panic.
Trying to think of what TV shows you go back and you watch and go like, oh yeah, no, I've seen the ending. Like, I can't believe this is where they started.
It amazes me, though, her and other liberals, socialists even, their ability to deflect from what the issues truly are. And here, her obsession with at least suggestions of always gender and sex even. It, I truly believe that there are enough Americans who get it and understand what her tactic is, and that is to deflect from what the real issues are. But take this issue, though, with her suggestion of dating and attraction to someone. And blaming her failures on that obsession with sex. Look how the liberals, Rachel, want to pound that into the public's head, that advertising who is attracted to who, what people do in their own, the privacy of their own bedrooms, all those things that have to do with privacy and sex. The liberals, not the conservatives, are the one who pound after that. And obviously, it's a tactic so that she doesn't have to be held accountable. It sounds like she hasn't been held accountable for much, maybe in her entire life, so she doesn't have that foundation of accountability and, that public servant's heart that is so necessary in order to serve well and be accountable.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I like how they also, I wonder if like the host is going like, listen, just do me a favor. Give me about 10, 15 seconds before you cut back to me when she's done talking, because I honestly, guys, please don't mess with me today. Okay. Just give me a couple of seconds to gain some composure after she's done talking.
I think you're right, Sarah.
Yes, exactly, Sarah.
Exactly what I was going to say.
4, 3, 2, 1. We're back on you, just so you know the camera's on you. Okay, well, Sarah Palin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for taking us to Pound Town.
Do you think that they honestly, having just some experience with cable television, I got to put, even for someone working at Fox, the likelihood that they go to commercial break and everybody just goes, can you fucking believe that? Wow.
Yeah. Well,
why are we still going to her?
Well, that's why we're going to her right there. Are you kidding?
What's interesting to me, too, about it is that Sarah Palin was also, like, AOC was critiquing, and she repeated what I think I've said on the show multiple times about, like, the right wing's just incredibly obvious, like, sexual frustration with Ocasio-Cortez, and they don't necessarily know what to do with it. And so they lash out against her in these
they lashed out at her boyfriend's sandals.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, oh, he's, they're critiquing his appearance because they're obsessed with her, like, physical appearance, and like they don't understand. But she also makes them super angry with what she says, so they don't really know how to feel about it. But Sarah Palin was the flip side of that stuff. She actually capitalized on the weird right-wing repressed sexuality when she was a public figure. And so, like, the irony of her saying something like this is ridiculous because she tried to harness the obsessive, like, conservative, repressed Christian sexual nature.
There is no doubt. I mean, I cannot remember the specific people, but if you go back and look at Twitter in 2008, it was new. But the comments you were getting from right-wing commentators and writers about Sarah Palin, they were just so over the moon.
Yes.
That they thought that she was so hot and that the left couldn't handle it. I mean, it was amazing. It really was amazing.
Vanity Fair 2008. Sarah Palin, smart, scrappy, and oh yes, sexy.
Yeah, I mean, there was tons of that from right-wingers.
Right.
Tons of it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that was like the main, like, as someone who I wasn't really following politics that closely, like that was like the main thing people talked about her in North Dakota, at least.
That was
the premise of the SNL skit with her and with Tina Fey playing her and Amy Poehler playing Hillary, where Hillary was unattractive and Sarah Palin was like, stop photoshopping my head on bikini bodies or whatever. She was like, her attractiveness to conservatives was one of the number one things about her. And then she's trying to claim that it's the left that's obsessed with sexuality in politicians. Oh my God.